political analyst, pundit, really smart guy, and occasional fill-in co-host is Scot Hughes. I was speaking yesterday to a friend who has just moved here from out of state, and he said, well, when is the next mayor's election in Shreveport? And I said, it's this fall. And he said, well, I need to register so I can vote in the Republican primary. And I went, ha, 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 ha. And I tried as best I could to explain to him how the jungle primary works. How did that all get started? Could you give us a little background, a little history, please, and explain to us how we got here where we are today?
Well, we use the term jungle primary, and what it really is it's an open primary. There's really two ways to run a primary, open or closed. And the rest of the country runs a closed primary. Republicans run against Republicans, independents against independents, Democrats, and then those one candidates move to the finals, and we elect the winner, like we do the presidential primary. We had that in Louisiana until the early 70s. If you look at the history, simplifying it, what really happens is Governor Edwin Edwards, who's a Democrat, he has to keep running in these brutal Democratic primaries. Back in those days, 50s, 60s, 70s, 90% of the people in Louisiana were registered Democrats, one party. So all the action was in the Democratic Party. So you'd have this Democratic primary where only Democrats ran against each other, and then you had to get the top two. Then they had to run off against each other, and at the end of that, they had a Democratic candidate. So a Democratic candidate would then come to the finals and have to run against the one Republican who was clean the whole way, had no competition, did everything, and that made it really hard for the Democrats. So Edwin Edwards, he gets tired of having to run, and then he decides, we're going to change that. We're going to make this what's called an open or jungle primary where everybody runs. And so at most, I only have 2 rounds. And we've been there since then.
Originally, it was conceived and implemented by Edwin Edwards for A, himself, and B, other Democrats.
Correct.
I saw a couple of websites earlier said that Louisiana is the only state in the USA that does jungle and or open primaries. Who in the Edwards administration dreamed this diabolical idea, air quotes? Who dreamed this up?
If you look at the history, it was probably Edwards and his political machine. They wanted to find a way where they didn't have to run against that untouched Republican, and they wanted to cut one round out for their fundraising. And that's why the political joke, if you study politics, Edwin Edwards is the father of the Republican Party.
If it's that good an idea, why didn't anybody else do it this way?
We used to do it that way back in the early 1900s, and it was changed for political reasons. I know that sounds trite because it's politics, but it 100% was changed for political reasons to prevent Democrats from having to keep beating up on each other and eliminate one round of voting. But the net result over the last 30, 40 years has been a swing now where it really has moved the Republican Party into a viable political party in the South. And now you look at Louisiana and you see all statewide elected officials are Republicans. You see a legislature that's effectively sitting at 2/3. The Republicans will push this issue if they can get it now.